Damn. Like I should. When in dark, walk around the neighborhood.
Hello, my name is Cairo Eubanks and I'm Miss Broward County 2020 for the Miss America organization. And I wanted to share with you a limiting belief that I once had about myself and how I was able to overcome it. So first of all, what is a limiting belief? Limiting belief is a belief that you may have subconsciously or consciously, you may be aware of it or not, that may be limiting you or impeding your growth in some way, shape, or form. So you could say, for example, I may never be able to achieve X and Y because of X, Y, and Z. Well, maybe you can be the exception to the rule, right? But it's having those limiting beliefs that prevent us from going outside of our comfort zones or being able to try things that scare us. Maybe we have fear. And I want to share an acronym of fear that I think is absolutely powerful. Fear stands for false evidence appearing as real. False evidence appearing as real. So perhaps you've had references that you've made throughout your life. Maybe there have been people who've told you that you could not do X, Y, and Z, or that your potential was only so high or so far, right? And maybe you start to believe that. That's a limiting belief. Okay, so a limiting belief that I experienced growing up had to do with traveling. I've always had wanderlust. I've always wanted to travel the world. I mean, my name is Cairo, like Egypt. I mean, it's like my parents sort of, they already knew that I would be curious about the world around me, and they purposefully named us after places in the African continent or within the African continent, because they not only wanted to inspire us to be proud of our heritage coming from the African continent, but also as a motivation to actually see these places in person, you know. So when I was growing up and hearing my name Cairo, hearing my brother's name Dakar, like Senegal, and Sudan, like the country, and Sudan, I know that there's also South Sudan. She was named Sudan. But that being said, I always wanted to visit these places, and I would read books, and I would, you know, go through my textbooks and say that I want to be able to see, you know, the Colosseum and Rome. I wanted to be able to go to Paris, and I wanted to go to Brazil, all of these different places around the world, but I did not necessarily think that at one time that would be something that I could possibly do, especially when in 2008, 2009, when the housing market crashed. Well, my family had businesses in real estate, and we literally lost everything. I mean, it was actually extremely traumatic for me for some time, for many years, because of what we experienced, what we endured. And I'm so grateful that we were resilient and we were able to get through that time in our lives. But it really caused me to doubt whether I would be able to whether I would be able to actually see these places in person, to actually get to travel, especially with very, very limited resources and funds. It was at one point just a dream and a doubt at some points as well. And I'm so grateful that there were people who were put in my path to teach me that this was a limiting belief. This was not real. These were not facts, that I could actually get to see the world and get to see them with my own eyes, and get to talk to people on the ground, get to learn their stories and share their perspectives about their countries, rather than reading about it from another person's biased point of view. I wanted to create my own opinions, you know, form my own opinions about the places that I was traveling to and whatnot. And so I had a college counselor in high school named Mr. Monty, and he changed my life forever. He actually told me about the program that I did in my junior year of college called Semester at Sea, and I worked my tail off. Oh my goodness. When I tell you that I was working so hard to get scholarships, I applied for every single scholarship that I was eligible for. I was, you know, raising money just because my family, you know, we didn't have it like that. And so the beautiful thing is that I had this opportunity to visit 10 to 12, well, it was actually 12 countries by the time that we finished, for 4 months. And even thinking that I could actually do that, until I stepped on the plane to go to Germany for the first time ever. I'd never been to Europe before. I realized, wait a second, this is real. This is my life. And I knew that things would never be the same. But can you imagine what if I had let those fears of money, you know, stop me from actually going out and running around, you know, jumping through hoops to be able to get scholarships or to get grants, to be able to do this program, right? And so that being said, I had an amazing experience, and I was able to apply for my first visa when I went to Brazil, and I realized, oh my gosh, I thought this was so intimidating, it would be so difficult. The visa application process is not really intimidating at all, and you know, there's always guidance and help that you can get from you know, people, whether it's in the embassies or if you're studying abroad. You have advisors who can help you. And I urge anyone, if you are in college and your school has affiliate programs that allow you to study abroad, do it. I know that there are sometimes fears that we may have, you know, about moving, about being in a new place. You know, we're creatures of habit. But what I've realized is that we have to constantly step out of our comfort zones, right? And so when I did semester at sea, I went out on faith. I mean, I remember that there were times when I would be in countries and I didn't really have a lot of money to go do different excursions like some of my friends did, but I got to meet the locals. You know, I got to sit down and I had invaluable experiences. And at the end of the day, even if I didn't come back with all of the different trinkets and gifts that some of my counterparts did whilst studying abroad with me on semester at sea, I will say that I have those memories. And not only those memories, but I had proof that this was not just a dream that was unachievable. That if I could go back in time and go back to my 13, 14, 15-year-old self, I would say, you know what? Keep on persevering. Keep on having faith that you will be able to see the world and that you'll get to see it and share your personal experiences, getting to talk with people. Like, for example, I was in Egypt during Ramadan for 3 weeks, and I got to experience that firsthand. I got to, I mean, there's so many different places that I've been to that I've shared during Worldly Wednesday, but at one point I just thought that that was just going to be a dream and that it wouldn't be reality. But I'm here to say that you're able to turn your dreams into reality. You just have to continue to have faith, to have courage, and to make sure that whenever you hear that little voice inside your head saying that, oh, you're too blank to do this, or you'll never be able to do, you know, fill in the blank X, Y, and Z, it's absolutely not true. And what you can say in your mind mentally is, I'm going to prove that little voice wrong, whatever it may be. Even if that little voice is not necessarily in your head and it's the thoughts that you may have that are limiting, but if there are other people around you who are saying that you cannot do it, do not believe them. That is something that I have learned firsthand, and I'll be sure to share with you more in the future. But I really truly hope that this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. If this was inspiring, or if it helped you within your journey, please be sure to share. I'd love to hear your story, what you may be currently going through, and if there's any way that I can be able to assist, I absolutely will. So my name is Cairo Eubanks. I'm Miss Broward County 2020 for the Miss America organization. I truly hope that you're having a wonderful, enlightening, and achieving day. All right, bye.